ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थसुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदयादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदताम् ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहैतुकी। We are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, chapter 31, verse number 9. This is continuation of the song of the Gopis, Gopi Geet. So we read in the previous verse how Gopis were saying that you should put your feet on our breast and your feet are very beautiful and they destroy the sins. And then they spoke about his speech, Madhuryagira. So now they are speaking about his katha. Tav kathamritam tapta jivanam kavi bhiriditam kalmasapaham Shravan mangalam Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Bhuvi grananti te bhurida jana. So, Bhurida Jana Te Kathamritam Bhuvi Grananti. So, those who are very generous people, extremely charitable, so what do? They describe your Kathamritam on earth. Why is that? Because this is the life of the suffering people here, Tapta Jivanam. Everybody is Tapta here, even if it is snowing. Everybody suffers. So this Amrita gives life. Amrita is a tonic, and Amrita also gives life to the dead people. So he says that this is the only nectar. There are nectars, other types of nectars are available in heaven, etc. But this is what is available on earth, and it is superior than the one in heaven. That's why Devas came to ask for it. In Bhāgavatam Mahatmya it is described that Devas came to ask for this nectar in exchange for the nectar of the Swarga, and they were not successful. So Kavibhi Riditam, so the learned people, the intelligent people, they have sung it, they have praised it, id stutya dhatu, and here all the ta is generally applied in past, this one is in present, sometimes this ta, taktavatu, they are applied in present also. So Kavibhi Riditam means it is sung by the Kavis, great people. And Kalmashapham, it takes away all the kalmashas, impurities, anxieties. Shravana Mangalam, this is the most auspicious thing for the ears to hear. Just by hearing brings auspiciousness. Generally you have to hear, then you have to digest. It's like some food gives strength even putting by in mouth. That's why they say for some medicine that you put in your mouth under the tongue, so it gets digested right from there. Doesn't even have to go to the stomach. Like these days they give injection, so it goes into the blood straight away. And putting in the mouth under the tongue is the natural way of putting it into the blood without injection. So this Shravan Mangalam is like that it is auspicious. What is auspiciousness means? Which destroys obstacles, which destroys problems and brings happiness. And that is called Mangala. So Magi Dhatu, Alachpatya. And Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So it spreads wealth, prosperity, because if we are happy, that is the best wealth. If your mind is stable, you can also get external health. The real health is the inner health. The real wealth is the inner wealth. External wealth cannot help you if your mind is disturbed. So this is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It spreads the Śrīmad, the beauty or health. Bhuvi grananti te bhurida jana. Therefore, those who are truly charitable, munificent, they describe this here on earth. So, meaning is that the gopis are surviving by this because they are also suffering in separation, so they are singing, and this is spread all over. The heavenly nectar is only in one place, under the protection of Indra. It's not spread all around, even in heaven, not that anyone and everybody can take it. But this katha is all over, wherever there are devotees, wherever there are sadhus, they sing, they describe it. So therefore it is atatam, it is spread. It's not just limited to one place. So commentary by Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti. Tat कर्तृक कथाया माधुर्य महिमा कैर्वाच्य तत्संबंधी कथा अन्य वक्तृका पि अमृतद्वयात् स्वाद्वी श्रेष्ठा चैत्या. So now they are praising Krishna. In the previous one they already spoke Madhurya Gira, that your sweet words. So now is continuing. It says that what can be said, the greatness of your katha. So Tav Kartrik means Tat Kartrik Kathaya Madhurya Mahima Kairvacha, means the beauty of words which come out from Krishna's mouth. When they are coming out from Krishna's mouth, they are definitely sweet. That's what they said, Madhurya Gira Valgurvakya. So he says that even if it is spoken by others, still it is wonderful. It is still nectar. It is amrita. Tvat sambandhi katha anya vaktrika api amritdvayat swadmi shrestha. It is superior to the two types of amrita. So the two types of amrita are called the amrita, the nectar of the heaven, and nectar of Vaikuntha or moksha. So it is superior. So that means that you can be on earth and better than being in heaven, and better than being in moksha. So tab katha eva amritam. So katha amritam can be shashti, the nectar of katha. Means katha is separate, amrita is separate. But he is saying that it is not like that. The katha itself is amrita. They are inseparable. Means otherwise if they are separate, katha could be there and amrita may not be there. Like something belongs to you doesn't mean that you keep it all the time with you. So therefore it says tab katha eva amritam. The katha itself is amrita. So means wherever there is katha, amrit is there. No separation. Kena sadharmena taptan maharogadi santaptan samsar taptanscha jivayati iti tattad viraha taptanscha jivayati iti swargiyan moksharupacha amritad adhikyam cha kavibhir dhru prahladibhi. So now he says that this, although it is called amrita, but amrita is only material. So it has some qualities similar, otherwise it is superior to them. That's why I said that it is better than that. So what is its sadharmya? What is its similarity with them? That's why generally amrita is that which dispels your sickness or your disease. So maharogadi santaptan, those people who are suffering from some big disease. Big disease is like cancer these days. So cancer is a maharog, because it's sometimes some people get cured, but otherwise it is incurable. So incurable disease. So it is a solution for that. So samsar taptansya, and the people who are suffering in the material world. So there are physical suffering, and then there is also mental suffering. So even if you don't have physical suffering, mental suffering you must have, because that is the quality of the mind. One of the quality of the mind is that it won't let you sit in peace. If you are peaceful, then it will invent something to trouble you. It's quite expert at that. So you don't have to do much. It will make you run around. So no matter how better, how good, how best situation you are in, mind, unless you are the master of your mind, it will trouble you. So that is the situation of people who do not have control over their mind. So that's why Krishna says, Atmaivi Atmano Bandhu Atmairu Pratmana Bandhur Atma Atmanastasya Yenaiva Atmana Atmanajata Anatmanastu Satrutva Vartayat Atmaiva Shatruvat. So it is, Krishna says, it is like an enemy, Shatruvat. Why? Because it actually does a better job than an enemy. Because enemy is not with you 24 hours. He also has to eat and sleep, also make some money. It's not just after you. But this mind is only after you. It's completely devoted to you. 100%, 24/7, and cannot think of anything else. So therefore it says Shatruvat. It's like this Amrita is Amritvat, it is better than those Amritas. So mind is a better enemy than any other enemy. And it is also enemy which is hidden inside you, which you don't think that it is an enemy. Other enemies is my enemy. So this is enemy with a covering of friend. So this is samsara tapta. So therefore everybody is on the hot seat of the material world. That's what it means, samsara tapta. So this kathamrita jivayati, it brings life to people who are almost dead and they do not find any solace anywhere. Martyo martyavala bhuta palayan. So people run here and there and they don't find any solace. So this tav kathamritam, tapta jivanam, it is the life. So jivanam means that it inaugurates your life. And then beyond these two types, physical suffering and mental suffering, there is another type of suffering, that is of the gopis, tattad viraha taptans. That also for us who are suffering, they are not suffering physical or mental agony like material people, but they are suffering in separation from Krishna. So therefore, they also get life from this jivayati. Swargiyan moksharupacha amritad adhikyam cha. It is better than the heavenly, because that heavenly nectar, how much will you drink? And if you go on drinking after some time, anything which is good, if you go on eating that after some time, you lose taste for it. So those who do not get it, they think this swarg, nectar, amrita. But those who are there, probably they are fed up with it. They may be looking for coffee or something because they don't get it there. Somebody who is used to drinking coffee here on earth goes to heaven, what will he do? Every day he gets the amrita. And people, those who are non-vegetarian, they get fed up with vegetarian food. Right? After some time they say, what is this everyday same thing? So if you are used to coffee or tea or something like that, maybe Nutella, but you won't find it there in heaven. And so no, here we have this amrita. So after some time you are bored with it. But then you don't find any restaurant there like that. Nor can you order it on Amazon. Such deliveries are not possible there. So people actually suffer there. We have more facility here on earth. So don't plan to go there. So that's why it says Swargayat Amritat Adhikyam. And then moksha, there is no variety in that. Same. Amrita also same. Go on drinking Amrita every day, Amrita every day. And moksha is same, Brahmananda. So both are quite boring. But Bhagavan's Katha is ever new, fresh. so many tastes of it. So therefore, Kavibhir Dhruva Prahladadibhir Kavibhir Editam. So therefore, Kavi here means devotees, great devotees, Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, they have praised it. Editam. Editam means they are praised or they are praising. So he quotes this sloka from, this is by Dhruva, I think. Ya nivritis tanubhritam tav pada padma dhyanat bhavajjan katha shravanena vasyat sa brahmani swamahimni yapinath ma bhut kintu atmantaka silulitat patatam vimanat ityadi yuktibhirna rochitam. So that the pleasure, the bliss human beings they get by meditating on your lotus feet, tav pada padma dhyanat, or bhavajjan katha shravanena vasyat, or by hearing the stories of your devotees. And devotee stories are related with Bhagavan, they are not independent of him. Just like Bhagavan's story are related also with devotees. So whether you say Bhakti Charitra or Bhagavan Charitra, means same, because they are interrelated. So the bliss which you get from that, he says that nirvriti, that bliss is not available in Brahman, means in impersonal liberation. So mahimni, which is your glory, ma bhut, means it is not. Kintu antaka silulitat patatam vimanat. And then what to speak of the bliss of being in the heaven, which is even temporary. At least Brahmananda is not temporary, but this stay in heaven is temporary. There is always a sword hanging on your head. Antakasi lulitat patatam vimanat. And then you fall down from the plane without that, what do they have on the jump? Parachute. So you are kicked without the parachute. Come here. Break your head. So these are the two types of amritas they mentioned above. Kalmashani prarabdha pariyantani papani apahanti. So kalmashapaham. So kalmasa means prarabdha. So there are two types of karma or sin, prarabdha karma and aprarabdha karma. Aprarabdha is easy to get rid of, prarabdha is more difficult. Because prarabdha is that which is already giving the result now. So what can you do about that? Once you have shot the arrow or you have pulled the trigger of the gun, the bullet is gone. How will you stop it now? So if it is not yet shot, you can do something about the bullet, throw it away, diffuse it. But once it is hit, then what do you do? So prarabdha karma is like that arrow which is already out of the bow. But kathamrita is such that it destroys even prarabdha karma. Therefore, Gyan Marg, Karma Marg, they cannot destroy prarabdha karma. They can only do something with the prarabdha. Prarabdha karma is not destroyed by that. So therefore it says, prarabdha pariyantani papani apahanti. It kicks away the sins even up to the prarabdha. Swargiya amritam tu tani na hanti. And the nectar of the heaven does not do that. Rather, kamadi vardhakatvat, rather it increases your desires. Because you will see some other people there who may be enjoying more than you. It's not that there is communism in heaven, everybody is same. No, there are also gradation, tartamya is there. Indra enjoys 100 times more than the other devas, and other devas enjoy at least 100 times more than the normal people there. So there is envy, there is jealousy, always. If you are not free from material desire, then jealousy has to be there, because there will always be somebody who has what you don't have. And then you'll feel jealous. That's the root cause of jealousy. So you're bound to have it in the material world. That's how mind thinks. Why he has. When you cannot have, then it troubles you by that also. When you have it, then it troubles you by giving you pride. When you don't have it, then it troubles you by making you jealous. So that's why it doesn't let you sleep in peace. That's its job. So in heaven also, same disease is there. After all, people go to heaven from here. So if you have jealousy on earth, don't think on heaven you are going to become free from it. It can be augmented, because there you get intoxicated by the Amrita, feel more proud. So there are also trouble. So therefore he says kamadi vardhakatvat, that it increases your kama more there. Also situation is better than more, and you don't have any much responsibility. So what else is there here? First of all, you are bored, because what would you do? If your desires, if suppose they say there are also kalptarus there, so called. So if your desire, whatever you want, your desire is fulfilled quickly, then what will happen? You will have a lot of free time, right? And if you have a lot of free time and you don't know how to use your mind, then you will be bored. And if you are bored, then what do they say? Idle man's mind is devil's workshop. So you are going to do something to disturb yourself. If nothing else, feel jealous. And there is no kathamritam there, nobody is preaching to you or teaching you. So that's like, you see, rich people are quite bored. That's why they are going here. Now they want to go for a space travel. Why are they going for space travel, spending, I don't know, $1 million or whatever? Because they're bored. If you are happy, you don't want to go anywhere. Especially not outside in the space. So this is the job of boredom. So pratyuttani utpadayati eva. So therefore he says that this does not, the nectar of the heaven does not make you free from your sins, rather increases your desires and then makes you do more sinful activities. Like you hear so many stories about Indra. You get surprised, what is his problem? He has everything and then he's doing this, running after the Ahalya, Gautam Rishi's wife, here, there. How is he? Means mind cannot be satisfied. Supposed to have apsaras there, most beautiful, then why is he doing this? So that shows that mind remains dissatisfied. It cannot be. Kamesha krodha esa rajagun samudbhava mahasana. Is a mahasana. Is what you call glutton. Go on eating, never. It's a bottomless pit. No matter how much enjoyment you give to mind, it never says enough. Rather, punareva bhivardate, najatu kam kamanam bhogena samyate. So desires don't become satisfied by satisfying them. So Krishna Havisha Krishna Vartmaya punareva vivardate. It's like putting fuel into the fire. It increases. For a short time it goes down, like you put wood into the fire. For a short time the fire goes down, then comes up strongly. So that's how it is. So he says rather it increases and makes you do more sinful activities. That's why it's not a good idea to go to heaven. Better to stay here. People have idea, right? but they lament later on. Because there is saying that the music sounds nice from far, Even noise sounds better from far away. But when you go near, then it's like that. Things look like, take a picture, photograph of this place just outside, it looks very beautiful, but you are all the time there, you never think of that. So when things seen from far, they look like that. So mokshamritamapi prarabdha papam na hanti. And he says, and even the path of moksha, Gyan Marg, so even this cannot take away the prarabdha karma, does not have the power. Prarabdha karma is destroyed only in bhakti, not on any other path. Then he says, Shravana Mangalam. Shravanenaiva swadhyamanatvad abhishta sadhakatvacha mangalam tadvayam tu nevam bhuta. So it is tasteful even by hearing, simple. Shravanenaiva swadhyamanatvad. And abhishta sadhakatvacha. And it gives your desirable thing, which is bhakti. Because that is the thing which desire. Bhakti means love, prema. So that comes by hearing katha. So katha sravanam tu prathamyat. That's what Jiva Goswami said in Bhakti Sandarbha. Hearing katha is the beginning, and it's not the end. Continue. Mahaprabhu was also hearing Bhagavad Katha, right? So he is also hearing. He was also hearing this Gopi Git, Tav Kathamritam. You can actually think Mahaprabhu was hearing, we are also hearing. Imagine Mahaprabhu hearing this. So, sadhakatvacha, abhisht sadhaka. This is the abhisht, this is most desirable. And mangalam tadvayam tu naya bhutam. So this is the mangala, this is the auspiciousness. He says, but these other two are not like that. They don't bring any auspiciousness. They're only problematic. Because as long as you have the idea of enjoying independently, enjoying material senses, it is only going to bring amangala, not mangala. It will only cause trouble to you. That's the rule. Yehi sansparja bhoga dukhi ane evate adyantavanta konte nate shuramte vina. So all these sense objects are just waiting to give you trouble. Labho jivata yavata, therefore Sut Goswami says, take as much as is needed. That much is allowed, so that you can keep your body healthy, strong, to do seva. You take more trouble, always. You like it, you don't like it. It will be there. Then he says, Śrīmad-Atatam. So Śrīmad means the wealth. Śrī means opulence. So Shrayate iti Shri, that which everybody wants. So prem paryanta sampati pradam. This katha can give you the wealth up to Krishna prema. There is nothing higher than that. Because Krishna is the topmost person and prema makes him subdued. So that is the highest wealth. So, and it can happen just by hearing also. Right? That sloka is there that Parikshit became perfect by hearing, Sukadeva Goswami by speaking, and so on. So Śrīmad means prem paryanta sampatidam, Śrīmad-Atatam. And Atatam pratikshanam vaktribhir vistritam. So Atatam means explained. So So those who are speakers, those who teach or who speak Krishna Katha, they expand on it. So that is the meaning. Attam means also to spread. Spreading is not just speaking to many people, but spreading the Katha means explaining it in more detail what it is. So that is also the meaning. So Vaktribhi Vistritam. Vistritam also means spreading it both ways. Vistritam can mean both, that they give detailed explanation of Krishna Katha or they speak it to many people. So tadubhayam tu na tatha. So that other two are not like that. They are not bringing anything like that. Ye grinanti kirtayanti te eva bhuri bahutaram dadati tebhya sarvasvam dadanapi tat parishodhetum na kshamanteti bhava. So those who are describing these stories, these glories, these pastimes of Sri Krishna, they are most munificent because they give more than anyone else who can give. Bahutaram dadati means that they give more than anyone else. What does it mean? That if you give everything to them, whatever you have, still you cannot be free from the debt. You become indebted. That's why we have 5 types of debts. One of the debt is called Rishirin, the debt to the sages, like Vyasa. That's why we have Vyas Puja once a year, because he has given us so much katha. Everywhere, so many stories, how much he worked sitting in the cold place in Badrinath. Wrote Mahabharata, full of stories. Bhāgavatam. So, without any computer, so one thing is that he cannot lose his data. Because everything was on the leaves. But he had Ganesh with him, and Ganesh has his mouse. So mouse could eat the leaves. That he also has to protect. So we cannot repay the debt of these sages. That's what he's saying, that tebhya sarvasvam dadana api tat parishodhetum na kshamante iti bhava. That if you give everything you possess, still you cannot pay back. Yadva tav gis tadeva madhura yadi tad darshan sahita syat anyatha tu maha anarth karitya. So now they change gear suddenly. So gopis, this is how love works. So now, till now it was one explanation. Now they put everything into the back gear. When the car is going front, put it in the back gear, it starts going in the opposite direction. So now they change everything. So it says, or the meaning is as follows. Tav gis tadeva madhura. He says, your song, your words, they are very sweet. So tav kathamritam means your katha, means your words, not that somebody else is saying. And they are very sweet if they are with you, means you are physically present and then you speak. That's what they said, madhuraya gira, valgu vakyaya. But if you are not there and we only remember your words, that is very, very troublesome. Anyatha tu maha anarth kari. And now they describe the whole verse, how your words without your darshan are most problematic. And this sloka is now talking about that. So he says, Tav katha Instead of saying Katha Amritam, it is Katha Mritam. He says your Katha itself is a death. So Katha eva Mritam Maran Karanam. That your Katha is a killer. It kills the living people. And we are already half dead. Then it's very troublesome. Kuta, why? Because tapta jivanam. It gives trouble to your life. So earlier when Amrita was, then means it gives it. It is like a tonic in our grades. Now he says tapta jivanam. That makes our life full of suffering. How they give a very nice example. Tapta tailadau jalamiva iti shlesha. He says, just like if there is a oil which is hot, boiling, and you put few drops of water in it, then what happens? Everything starts jumping more. And you better be away, otherwise it's going to come on you and burn you. So that is your katha. We are already suffering, we are already boiling in separation. And then this katha is like few drops of water. So it is death for us. Nanu tarhi katham puranadisu slaghyate tatra. So he says, then why is that this katha has been praised in the Purana, etc.? He says, praised by whom? People like Vyasa. Kavibhir Vyasadibhir Iditam. He says, these poets, they have imagination. They talk like that. Param, the swan can distribute water, separate water from the milk. He says, have you seen any swan doing it? The chatak bird, imagine, it's drinking the water from the rain cloud. How it will drink water from rain cloud? So he says these poets are just imagining like that. They don't have much to do. So they sit down and they take a flight of imagination. Some people are good at that, right? Imaginary flight. So he says, then they make all stories about your katha. You are like this, you are like that. There is nothing like that. He says, no one else is praising me except for these poets. If you are actually like this, everybody will be saying it. He says, kavi bhi riditam. Only the kavis, not anyone else. So therefore, there is a saying like that Shastreshu nashta kaviyo bhavanti. Those who cannot study philosophy, Shastra means philosophy, so they become poet. And kavyesu nashta Purana Patha. Those who cannot write, because poetry also not everyone can write, so then they become Purana reciters. Then they tell stories from the Puranas. Because kavis are those who write it. So if you cannot study philosophy, write stories. If you cannot write, then read what others have written and tell it to others. And tatrapi nashta krishim ashrayante. If you cannot do that, then do farming. Because there you don't need much brain. You want to recite, you have to remember, and you have to be a little expert. And nashta krishair Bhāgavata bhavanti. If you cannot do farming, become a Bhāgavata vachaka, speaker of Bhāgavata. He says this is from Atri Samhita. So this is the situation about your katha. All these Bhagavata speakers are those who fail everywhere. Then they take to Bhagavatam. Those who are intelligent, they take to IT, engineering, medical science, management, right? All these jobs. Business. When you cannot do anything, chal bhai, Bhagavad Uthana. So in India there is 1.4 billion people, if you get 50, 100 people to hear, that's good enough. So that many you can manage. So this is old sloka. So this is the meaning of Kavi Bhiriditam. So then it says Kalmasapaham. No, what is that? Kavibhir Vyasadibhir Iditam Kavinam Varnan Matra Svabhavena Tasyapi Varnat. It says these poets have a habit, you give them some topic, they will speak on that. Make stories imaginary. Kalmasapaham. So Kalmasapaham Dukh Bhogena Prachinam Kalmasam Nashyati eva. So now what happens if you hear these kathas, then what will happen? You will be suffering by hearing it. And when you are suffering, your old sins are getting destroyed. Because suffering comes because of the sins. So somebody is going to tell you the katha, and you are bored, but you cannot leave. So inside you are thinking, when this guy going to stop? When is he going to stop? Right? And he is going on and on. And he says, I have heard it 50 times, he's saying the same thing. There's nothing new you are saying. And some people are very good in repeating, right? So he says that you are actually having this kalmasa. So your past sins are getting dispelled by hearing and getting bored like that. That is the meaning of kalmasa. You see, this is the flight of the poets. That's how I can imagine. And then he says, Sravan Mangalam. So Loka Kartrik Sravanenaiva Mangalam Swasti Ayanam Avinasho Yasya Tat. So he says Sravan Mangalam because what is this? That this Magi Dhatu means to destroy. The Dhatu Mag means destroy. So he says that this, because people are hearing these stories are alive. Sravane Naiva Mangalam. Mangal not of the person who is hearing it. Mangal of the story. Because you hear the story continues. Why the story is continuing? Because people hear it. If nobody hears some story, then those so many stories we don't know. 200 years ago, what stories people were telling or what they were talking, we don't know if they are not continued. So he says this stories, your katha, is surviving because of some people hear it. Sravan, that is Sravan Mangalam. So Sravanayana eva Mangalam Swasti Enam Avinaso Yasya Tat. Yadi Jana Sudhiyastat Sravan Parinamam Dukkham Vicharenat Soshanti Tada Tadapi Nakshati. He says, therefore, if people become little intelligent, they start thinking that why I have to hear these stories, they are so boring and problematic. And they stop it. Then what will happen? Then all these stories will be lost. They will disappear. And then Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. This is the most interesting one. So Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is Śrīmad and Atatam, but he takes that Śrīmad-Atatam. So Śrīmadair dhanmadandhai durjanair eva loka mriyantham iti avilasya dhanvayena api atatam deshe deshe grame grame puran vachkan sansthape vistaritam. So Śrīmad-Atatam means Śrīmada-Atatam. Or Śrīmadahi Atitam, it is Śrīmada. He says those people who are completely intoxicated with their wealth So what they do is they say that we want to trouble these people. So let's hire people who tell stories. We'll pay them and let them go and tell stories. And that's how they are spreading the stories to trouble. Let these people die by hearing the stories. That is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Atatam means spreading, and Śrīmada means those who are really mad with their wealth. They don't know what to do with the wealth. So sometimes people have wealth and they just want to play prank on others, do something. So this is what they are doing. That Śrīmadhir dhan madandhai durjanai. He says that wicked people who are intoxicated with wealth, they are thinking that let people die. Because your katha is death, kathamritam. So they spread this katha, let more and more people die. And for that they hire people. So dhanvena api atatam. And they tell them, go to this place, talk this katha. And let people die by hearing this. So Purana Vachkan Sanstapya. So they find Purana reciters, those who recite Purana stories, says, we'll pay you, please go to villages, and now you can take a flight, go to America, do there also. Let people there also die. So they do this. So this is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And they are called Bhurida Jana. So Bhurida Jana does not mean that they are very generous, munificent, charitable, no. Ateva bhuvi ye grinanti te bhurida bhurin shrotri lokan dyanti khandayanti mariyanti. So bhuri means many, and da means to kill them, to cut. So they kill many people. Therefore they are the big killers. Bhurida means big killers on earth. Because they are killing people and spreading these stories. Tasmat te katha jalam vitatya saumya iva upvishta manushya markat vyadhadapi adhika durta eva sudhibhirupeksha evati bhav. So therefore what they do, just like the hunter. So what does hunter do? He spreads the net and he sits far away. He's not sitting near the net. And then whether it is for birds or fish or whatever, they get caught in it and then he enjoys them getting killed. So he says these rich people, they sit far away and they spread the net of their katha. And then people get caught in their net because they do advertisement, put hoardings, and bring advertisement on TV like that. So many people come and they will be sitting far away watching the fun, how these people are getting killed by your katha. So they sit like gentlemen, saumya eva upvishta, as if they have nothing to do with it. And manushya markat vyadhat api adhika. So they are worse than the hunter. Because hunter is killing animals, these people are killing human beings. So killing human being is more sinful than killing an animal. So adhika durta eva sudhibhirapeksha. Therefore these people, they should be avoided from very far away. Don't go near them. Those who are spreading katha or who are supporting the spreading of katha, they should be absolutely avoided if you want to protect yourself. Yad vakshate yadanucharit lila karna piyusa prit sakruddhana api vidhutai danda dharma vinashta sapati griha kutumbam dinam utsrijya dina bhavaiha vihanga bhiksucharyam charanti. As later on gopis will say that these people who hear your katha from the ears, then what do? They give up their family, everything, and come to Vrindavan, some holy place, and then they're asking food, going around doing madhukari, become beggars here. So this is the effect of katha. You hear so many stories. The monk who gave up the Ferrari. Right? So people give up their Ferrari and become bhikshu. So this is what happened. Buddha was a prince. Then he was begging. And how many beggars he created? Can you imagine? One Buddha, how many beggars he has created? For thousands of years, people are still begging. All the effect of katha. So he says, therefore, please, I am warning, stay away from such people. So vastutah kathayaha kathakasya cha sarva utkarsa vyanjikayam vyajastuti. So now he puts the gear again back. He says, in reality, this explanation, this is called vyajastuti. Vyajastuti means where praise is done in the form of criticism. That you criticize, but actually the intention is in praise. Just like sometimes you praise, that is also called vyajastuti. Sometimes you praise somebody, but your purpose is actually to just the opposite. Oh, you are very charitable. When you know that this guy doesn't give him 10 paisa. And you also know it. But that's what I want to say, that you are very miser, but that will be very hurting to you. So I say, you are very, very generous person. So you get the message, and others also. But it's done in an acceptable manner. So similarly, you criticize, and criticism is done with the intention to praise. So therefore he says that in reality, this is to show the supreme glory of the katha of Sri Krishna, and also of the kathaka, one who speaks the katha. That is the vyajastuti, that is the vyanjana. So we'll stop here if there is any question on this.
I'd like to ask about this Amritam in Svarga. So they have the soma juice, right? Which is made for some specific type of yaga. Is this the same as the
No, this Amrita is that which came out from the journey.
And soma is just a sadhana to achieve that Svarga?
Yeah.
Okay. So therefore in Svarga, but I thought in Svarga they have some type of juices or drinks. Is it only this Amrita or are there different ones?
Yeah, that is the Amrita.
Okay.
That is the one which Garuda stole. In Mahabharata there is a story that Kashyapa has these two wives, who had a bet. Indra's horse was going, and it is white in color. This Uchchaishrava. Uchchaishrava Aswanam, Krishna says, among the horses I am Uchchaishrava. Uchchaishrava means which has long pointed ears. So they had a bet that Vinata and Kadru, two wives. He has, I think 13 wives. Diti, Aditi, Vinata, Kadru, these are all his wives. Kashyap Rishi, daughter of Daksha. So Vinata said, the horse tail is white. And Kadru said, no, it is black. He says, no, the horse is white, therefore the tail is also white. He says, no, it is black. So then they had a wager that, okay, we'll go and see, and if I win, you become my servant, and if you win, I become your servant. So they went, but before that, Kadru had sons for the snakes. All the snakes are sons of Kadru. So she told the snakes that you go and stick to the tail so that it looks black. The snakes are black in color. He says, wrap around the tail of the horse. So they refused. So then she cursed them that you will be burnt in the fire. That's why Janmeja did the yajna. The whole story starts like that of Mahabharata. But then some snake got scared, then they went, and when they saw the tail looked black, so Vinta became the servant of Kadru. Then Garuda was born after a long time, and then he has to always carry these snakes on his back because he is also son of the servant. So one day he asked the mother that why is that we have servant of these people, you are having the same husband. Then she told the story. So then he went and he spoke to the snakes. He says, what would you want so that my mother and I are freed from this servitorship? So they said, well, if you get this Amrita from heaven and give us the Amrita, because people are always killing us. You see the snake, you want to kill it, so then no one can kill us. So Garuda said, okay. So Garuda went. So then this Amrita is protected, but Garuda is very powerful. He fought and defeated and took the pot. So then Indra came and he said, please, why you want to give this to these snakes? This will be a big problem. So he said, well, I have to get my mother free. So he says, okay, let's have a deal. That you go and you give it to them and tell them that this is a nectar from heaven. Don't touch it. You should all go and take bath first. And here is the pot. I have done my job, but you should worship it. Do little puja, then drink. And then they will go to take bath. I will take the pot and run back to heaven. So your job is done and my job is done. So Garuda said, fine. So then Garuda came and they did it like that. So then Indra took it back and it was kept on the Kusha mat. So when the snakes came, the pot was gone. So then they started licking that Kusha mat and their tongue got cut. That's why snakes have two tongues. These stories are so interesting. The reason the snakes have two tongues is because their tongue got cut because Kusha grass is very sharp. So that is the Amrita of heaven. Okay, Tanmaji.
Babaji, how is that criticism to be understood as praise in the second interpretation?
How? Because it is not true like that. That's what I said, that somebody is very miser and you say, oh, he is very charitable. So because we know that he is not charitable, so then you understand that this is criticizing this person. So we know Krishna Katha is not like that. It's well known.
That's very interesting. Thank you. I've never heard of the reverse. I've always heard of the sarcastic, forward. But praising somebody by criticizing is...
Yes. This is one of the Alankar. It is called Vyastuti Alankar. And there are slokas like that. Sandeep ji. Unmute.
Babaji Maharaj, I was just asking that in the Vyastuti, when it is saying that Katha Amritam, मतलब आपकी कथा सुन के मर जाते हैं, तो sometimes we also say like in Hindi that हम तुम्हारे प्यार में मर गए. So is it in that sense or?
No, not in that sense. Then it will not be Vyastuti. Okay, Mohini.
Pranam Maharaj. I have a question. What you say, this Gatamrita can destroy prarabdha karma. Can you give examples or how this happens? That by hearing katha, it can influence and destroy prarabdha karma. And I also thought like jnana and karma, they only influence the present incarnation and not really the past. Like after one does jnana or karma, the past karma will again start popping up.
So, katha destroys your sins. There are two ways. One is when you are taking the real meaning, that it is amrita. That is one way of understanding. Kalmashāpam, because if you hear Krishna katha, it is purifying you, so then you are becoming free from sins. When you do bhakti, bhakti makes you purified and free from sins. That is the characteristic of Subdha Kleshagni. And if you take the Vyājastuti, then it is purifying you because by you are hearing it, but you are completely suffering. And suffering means you are getting the effect of your sins. They are reducing that way. Okay. And Gyan Marg, etc., they don't have the power to make you liberated without the help of bhakti. Okay.
So which karma is getting influenced by jnana or karma marg?
Aprarabdha.
Only aprarabdha. But that means that the past karma is destroyed by jnana and karma.
Yes.
So
karma is past only. Whether it is prarabdha or aprarabdha, both are past.
So this means that by doing karma and jnana, one gets liberated.
How will you be liberated if your prarabdha karma is not destroyed?
But one day the prarabdha karma will, when I die, the prarabdha karma is destroyed?
Prarabdha karma is destroyed. Yes. If you die, that is, if you have already destroyed all your aprarabdha karma, then prarabdha karma is destroyed by death.
So jnana and karma destroys all the aprarabdha karma.
Yes. Okay.